All right, all right. We got the whole squad here. We are going over three-star prospects, which we love to do. Always a very fun time of year where we go deep into the rankings and pick guys that we think are going to pop. We've had most of our success with running backs. I'm not going to lie. A couple quarterbacks. Anybody off the top of your head can think of a receiver that has become, really meaningful for us, or maybe 2025 is where we hit on a few. Anybody come to mind?
You're putting us on the spot here, Alfred. Jeez.
Well, I like I always love a little icebreaker I don't tell you about. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of any.
I think
We're not great with receivers.
I think
I don't
receiver.
think anyone that we're like overly convicted about, honestly.
Yeah, I think receiver's been tough for us in this particular endeavor, finding the three-star guys. Um, Receivers, I think hard in general. I think it's one of the most challenging positions, but we're gonna give it a go, and we're gonna start with, interestingly enough, a Michigan commit. Imagine wanting to roster a Michigan wide receiver, but Matt, walk us through Jamar Browder here. He's got an 87 on the star index. We like that. He's got a 4.59 40, so not a blazer, but at 6'4", 208, he has a 40-inch vert. So that's certainly interesting. Maybe some jump balls in the end zone, if nothing else. Jamar Browder, take it away, Matt.
Yeah, I never thought I'd have two Michigan three-star sleepers, but here we are. And this is very much a high upside NFL upside pick here. And unless Michigan can really flip around what they're doing there, I know they just brought Chip Lindsey in, so hopefully they can, get a little bit more passing production out there. But I mean, he's a massive target, but he's actually really fluid and really sudden. I think for a player of his size. I mean, you watch him; he really does not look like he's listed between 6'3" and 6'5", 208, 205 pounds around there. So very big guy that is very fluid and smooth athlete. And you can see there a nice release off the line, not totally raw, but not refined route runner or anything, but it could be worse there. And very good after the catch, good ball skills as you can imagine. So it's a good upside pick. Late with a NFL ceiling.
Yeah, and he's massive, 6'4", 208, and some of those clips there. I mean, he looks like a man among boys. Yeah, I mean, the two little.
I forgot stats. Sorry, 50 catches, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 22 average against 4 SOS though. So.
Well, still, we like to see near 20 or over 20 average per catch like that. And then, he did look pretty fluid. Some of those tunnel screens, there were some nice moves there in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting pick. I had not laid eyes on Jamar Browder before. Headed to Michigan. Circle that name, folks. Could be a guy, when you hear things start popping, he avoids year 1-0, and then maybe you're in. Okay, moving over to David, we're going to go with what appears to be a burner, smaller guy. So from huge outside X to a smaller guy who's a burner, Quentin Gibson, 5'8", 165, headed to Colorado, 4.38 40 I've got for him. What do you like about Quentin Gibson there, Dave?
Yeah, I've talked about him quite a bit this year just because he's been insanely productive, has had a huge breakout senior season. His production, right? We have him at 96th percentile. He just scored 2 TDs in the playoff win against Duncanville. I think he's got like 36 touchdowns in the year, somewhere around there. But he gives me like these vibes. I've talked about Tank Dell, and I say that a little bit tongue in cheek, of course, because we know Tank Dell is just a very rare player. He's very outliery, and we don't want to really comp guys to that. But his play speed is pretty crazy. Like he can cut without losing any speed. He has ball skills. He has a dog in him. He actually pancaked to Corey Moore. He actually kind of embarrassed Corey Moore. So he's actually stronger than you'd think. Ball skills, I mean, he's tiny. So he's on that Tez Johnson. I don't know. So LeJohntay Wester was a small guy in Colorado's offense last year, decently productive. I was hoping he'd go to the G5 route and just kind of dominate there and then kind of graduate to the P5, because Colorado's been, honestly, they've been recruiting receiver relatively well. So like I think his internal competition for targets might be a little harder than I want for the CFF side. But regardless, I don't know. I get he's a midget, but I just like him.
I mean, if you're good, you're good. And he's got that a little bit of that aura. If you see on that first clip, he was pointing out blocks, cutting back across the field, just pointing at dudes. So I always like to see that. Yeah, man, he looks, I mean, sensationally quick. Very, very fast. A lot of moves, a lot of ability to make guys miss. So interesting dude for sure. And then we're going over to another smaller guy. Probably one of the higher rated receivers we'll talk about just on the industry standards, but 3-star Michael Deaver, 5'11", 170, headed to Texas Tech, Matt. He's got a 62-star index, 4.49 40, 4.2 shuttle, 35-inch vert, and a pretty much elite, I would say, 6.67 foot high jump, which is pretty awesome. So explosive looking guy. Tell us what you like about Deaver here.
Yeah, Deaver really just checks a ton of boxes for me here. As Alfred just said, the physical profile is perfect for what we're looking for out of a recruit. Nothing crazy, but certainly very good. Very good production as well. 59 catches, 1,020 yards, 14 touchdowns, and neat little stat here that we have for you: 48 yards per game over his high school team's historical wide receiver one's average. So.
That's a stat.
Yeah. We that new stat that we are going to start showing off with some of these guys. But so that's good to see. Doing much better than historically his high school team's top wide receiver does perform. Texas Tech, solid landing spot. Got guys transferring out of there. Mika Hudson's obviously gone, which don't get us started about that. That's a heartbreak. And yeah, I just think he's a good mover. He's a pretty good route runner. Good after the catch. And solid ball skills.
Awesome. All right, Michael Deaver dominating his high school record books there out in Texas. So you also love to see Texas wide receivers, and you love to see Florida wide receivers for sure. In these 3-star rankings. Well, that'll do it for us. Those were the top 3 or first 3-star receivers. Tune in for later this week. We're going to go deeper into it and look at even more 3-star receivers. This is the official